It's Laura Eubanks of Design for Serenity with your succulent tip of the day, and it's Walkabout Wednesday. Yay. Wow. Oh my gosh. Spring. I always say in the winter that summer's my favorite time of the year, but I forget how much I love spring. The weather, perfect. Everything is in bloom, and I forget that in summer things get a little stressed and don't always look their best. But right now, everything looks its best. I am at the point, though, where I am going to have to start deadheading. For me, when the blooms get to the point where there's about less than 50% active bloom on any one flower, I will snip. But that's up to you. You do you. Snipping the blooms off of your spent succulents is not going to hurt the plant no matter when you do it. But if you want to encourage and provide food for wildlife, you want to leave your blooms on as long as possible. Also, I've noticed a lot of spider webs recently, which is great because remember, spiders are beneficials and they are your friends and your partners in the garden, and they eat a lot of the bugs that we don't like aphids, mealies, and so on. But once the spider has left the scene, it's okay to clean off the webs, unless you like that look, which I sure don't. So I will use, I don't always use my hands. Typically I'll use a broom to just kind of sweep off those spent webs. Oh, Greg, did you get in on this? I mean, really? Dang, I cannot make this stuff up. Look at how this platyphylla has grown down and is hugging this little Setiveria, or Echeveria, I'm not sure. I think that's an Echeveria, actually. Holy crap. I'm sorry, you guys. I'm just a little speechless right now. That back there. Yeah, I am seeing some dirt though, which is very exciting because then that means I can pop some more cuttings in. And the beauty of some, the sedums and things kind of getting a little taller is they're providing shade. So I can plant my cuttings and know that they won't, or hope that they won't fry. But wowee, look at this platyphylla. That was the pink. Here's the red. It's doing such a spectacular job of growing. I love the way that's growing. This plant can get a little leggy, but it's not. It's not getting leggy. Thank you so much. And then this giant, gorgeous milii. Remember my whale's tail down here, you guys? My crest. There's another one of my crests. Isn't that so cool? You know what I should do? I should remove that crest. I should cut it off. I know some of you are probably horrified.
Looks pretty happy there.
Yeah, Greg says it looks happy there, but we aren't really enjoying it here. If I cut off this crest and harden it off and pot it, then this can be its own unique, spectacular thing. I was just inspired. Yeah, I think that's what's going to happen there. Pisanii, my Echeveria, it looks like something has been nibbling on the leaves. This looks like snails to me. Unacceptable and very uncool. I don't see a snail anywhere on here, but I will probably sprinkle some baguetta just in case around this area. Oh, this euphorbia is looking spectacular. Love, love, love this fluorescent red flower that this plant gets. And we've got another little flower coming right there too. You will note that my Pringlei lost its twin. This used to have 3 Pringlei in it. Then I gave one to my Chula Vista client, Joe Jean, for a pot in his yard. And the other day when I did the pots for the Normal Heights client, I took the other one and gave it to her. So I need to re-top dress and kind of rethink this pot. I think I'll just stage this more center because I don't want to put anything in there with it. So I'll stage it more in the middle of the pot and top dress, and in the hopes that this will finally take off, because it really hasn't grown much, and I don't know why. The single that I planted at Joe Jean's in Chula Vista is twice this wide and at least twice this high, so go figure. All right, my little euphorbia looks good that we recently transplanted into the ground. No signs of any stress or anything on it, so yay. And I put, look, oh my gosh, check this out. Isn't that so cute? It's obviously a girl. Those little boobies. Gorgeous. And I planted, remember a while ago, I did a tip of the day here, and we decided to experiment with this little stem from the, wasn't it, what was, I don't even remember what this was anymore. Was it a, Graptus, I think it was a ghosty stem, and we wanted to see if we could get any new growth on the stem. So I thought this pot would be a great place to stage that, because I don't water this Pilosoceras like ever. It gets hit a little indirectly when I go after the gutters, because I'm lazy and I stand way back here and just spray the water from a distance. So we'll keep our eyes open. So far nothing on this stem yet, but you never know. And then this spiral cactus, so sad, that I got years ago, that's just been sitting here languishing in this pot. It's kind of, you know, not really very colorful, so I put some fertilizer in here, and it was the first time I've ever fertilized a cactus, and I wanted to see if it would cause the plant to green up, because this is, you know, this gets bright indirect light, it gets a little sun. I feel like this is a good spot. It's just sort of anemic looking, so I don't really see anything happening there yet, but you never know. And my Euphorbia tubulans is looking spectacular there. And look at the little lith up, Greg. The little spent bloom. Wonk, 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 wonk. That's funny. And my butthole cactus that got decimated by snails like 2 years ago is finally starting to throw off some really nice new growth. I'm glad I held on to this, because these, you know, little scars are going to be invisible pretty soon. You're not even going to be able to see them, because this is a really neat plant. All right, what's happening down here? Nothing much. Oh, here's another butthole. How did I end up with two? Oh, Cullen gave Hannah one. Same thing, snails got it. But patience, patience, patience. I know I said that I was going to trim the non-crested parts off of this little Myrtillo cactus, and I haven't done it yet. I don't hate it. It's just I don't want it to get out of hand. This Euphorbia obesa, I need to get to work. I keep telling you guys I'm going to do things, and I don't do them. Oh no, look at the corking back there. God dang it. I wanted to put this in a pot that was just a little more, this is kind of an awkward shaped pot, and I want this plant to grow, geez, come on. I want it to grow completely, you know, upright, like a pin cushion. So that's another thing I still need to work out. And yeah, these little lithops. Remember, this was a housewarming gift for my son when he moved into his last apartment, and he now been a homeowner for like 2 years. So these have been here for a hot minute, and I'm really proud of myself that I haven't killed them, because I'm not the greatest with lithops, because I like to water too much. But these look and are doing great. And then this sad, sad mess that got scale, and I scraped it off, and it left all these scars, is getting a couple of really, really cute little babies. So I think what I will probably do in time is move her out and let the babies take over this pot. Okay.
What's this down here?
What's what down where?
What's that down here?
This fabulous creature is a Lactea crest that I received as a gift from a follower. Isn't it so beautiful?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to do a special video and pot this up. Okay. All right. I love Bougainvillea. Like, it's probably a 85% love, 15% hate relationship, because I don't love picking up all the spent flowers. And we're kind of at that point where they are everywhere. This pot, the Aeonium pot, also is about at that point where I need to do something else. I love what's happening in front with all the Echeverias and the Graptos. I mean, check that Graptopedalum out that's just dragging on the ground. I just kind of been letting that go to see what happens. Yeah, and I've got a big ragweed back there too. But the Aeoniums, I'm kind of over them now. So they're going to look kind of crappy pretty soon anyway. So that's another thing that we can do together. My honeysuckle is honeysuckling. Look at all those blooms. God, I love this. Oh, the smell. It's summer to me. I love honeysuckle. And my lady pot, I've been being really mindful about splashing this pot with water very regularly. And it appreciates it clearly because it's looking good. Even the string of pearls is still hanging on and looking good. So this is very nice and making me very happy. And my little Aluaudia procera in the other head pot with the little sedum in it. This is really cool too. Very happy with that. And my sun glow. I thought it was pretty much had reached its peak, but it's growing, it's bigger, and I love this plant. What a gorgeous plant. This is a variegate of the blue glow called Sun Glow. It's got more greens and yellows in it. Beautiful, beautiful plant. That big aloe in the orange pot back there, I may move that into the front yard when we do our redesign out there, because I really had hoped that would do something like turn red or orange or, I don't know, or throw off a spectacular bloom. None of the above. It's just kind of sitting there being green, and I don't think it's cool enough to be in that pot. I can definitely find something better. And the elephant in the room, the Brugmansia. Can you guys even with this? Bam! Now here's another love-hate situation. All of my Brugmansia growers will say same. Gorgeous right now, and will be for a few more days, and then all of those flowers are going to tank. And I'm going to have to spend at least a half an hour cleaning them up. Oh well. Greg's Calendrinia spectabolus is spectabolusing all over the place, and just fantastic. It's so humbling. One of my favorite things in the garden, this Calendrinia right here at the pond side, was basically a seed dropped by a bird's poop. Yeah. So the bird's poo did a better design job than I probably could have. And that is very humbling. And I love this. I enjoy it. Oh, yes. And my Aloe Nobilis, these go off every 4th of July like fireworks. And I used to have a stand on the other side of the pond as well, and so they would go off in unison, and I don't know what happened to the Nobilis that were over there, but clearly I moved them, so we're only going to get one stand of firecrackers this year, but I can live with that. And my solution to my mammillaria that rotted was just to push more rocks up underneath. I decided that I wasn't going to plant anything else in this pot And I'm going to be patient with this. I know this grows like molasses in the wintertime, blows, but I don't know. I still like it. So we're just going to let that ride. The Aluaudia procera. Up in my room upstairs in Greg and I's bedroom, that gorgeous bloom is just front and center in our window. And it brings me so much joy to see it. It's so cousin it. I mean, just that big plume up on the top of the plant. It's just the coolest thing ever. And the Bougainvillea, I feel like I'm bragging. I'm bragging, but I'm not. I mean, I want to share this with you guys. I want you to enjoy it, and I want you to feel like you have a stake in this garden too, because you do. Look at there you go. Look at our Bougainvillea. Now you get to see the purple one. You know, I made kind of a mistake in getting different colors because they go off at different times. But this is kind of that magic hour in the year where they're all three doing something. Now the Barbara Karsh over here, you know, went off first, so it's not looking super bloomy, although it's got a lot of potential and more flowers coming very quickly. I fertilized the crap out of this year because this is what I wanted. And I mean, the pink over there is just otherworldly, isn't it? All the aeoniums are also blooming, and the bees are loving it. You can see that my compacta, Agave Victoria Regione compacta, is still doing fantastic right there. Haven't seen the gopher since I put this little carunculated Echeveria in the hole. He clearly doesn't like Echeveria, carunculated Echeverias. All of these gross little ground cover weeds are the bane of my existence. And I'm going to spend some time out here today pulling them. It is really rewarding to pull them by the taproot. And the ground is wet because I overflowed the fountain, the waterfall pond once again. So yeah, look at that. Ooh, that's great. That's like squeezing a whitehead, guys. Or a blackhead, your preference. Okay. Moving on. It looks like the topsy-turvy could use a little love, doesn't it? I mean, it doesn't look bad, but it is a little run-amucky. I've got a crest right here. And I've got a little crest right here that's actually fallen out. Look how cute that is. And it's desperately trying. Look at those roots. Oh my gosh. This is adorable. I'm going to clean that up and do something special with that. But yeah, it's just, here is a Echeveria Lola, one of my all-time favorites that I've never really had a whole lot of success growing. This girl right here. But she looks terrific in the topsy-turvy. And, you know, this gets the most water, these two bottom pots. So naturally, they're the most prolific. Look at the Lycopoidioides. That's so cool what it's doing. This is a plant that I don't love because it gets so, you know, kind of run-amucky and squirrely. But it's just sort of poking out all over the place in that pot, and I really, really like it. Yeah, this one definitely needs some love. Yeah, that looks ratty. Okay, and then this Fred Ives that I exposed when I took the Agave Quadricolor out is really looking great. It's just very, very content and happy back there. And this morning I was deadheading the roses, which are about, they just passed their peak. And I was over here at the fountain starting to mess around with it, you know, like deadhead the Morganianum here and pick out some dead leaves. And it occurred to me that it is time. It's time to make some edits. It's just looking a little unintentional. So that is in our future, friends. Okay, also in our future is doing something with this garage sale underneath the raised bed. I don't know what, but that's prime real estate, isn't it? I feel like I could do something really cool down there. It just hasn't quite occurred to me what. But the raised bed, you know, cleaning out the Aeonium sunburst crest is something that I could dedicate an entire day to. And I would love nothing more. For me, that would be like a trip to Disneyland. If I could find the time to just do this all day, nothing would make me happier. But alas, I don't have that kind of time. So we're going to let that ride. This is probably going to get to looking a little meh, you know, as the temperatures rise and it gets a little hotter. But this area over here does get some protection from the sun in the later part of the day. So I'm confident that she'll be fine. She's been here through a couple of summers and not had a problem. And the old trash can area turned tapestry, turned foster home is looking great, right? I mean, these are the plants that I popped in that, you know, have the potential to get way too big for my yard. And as they, you know, as they start to get too big, I just dig them up and put them in whatever project I'm working in. So this has been really fun. I know that, you know, when one goes, that opens up space for another, and that makes me really, really happy. This cactus that got a big, you know, remember the bird fell and his beak punched a big hole in it, so I cut it all the way down in the hopes that those pups would just cover it. Nothing's happening yet, guys, but I am hopeful that it will. And these gutters over here, the sunnier gutters, never look as good as the shade gutters over on the other side, over by Bentley's toilet. And these are really, now that I'm looking at them with fresh eyes, yikes, not great, right? So this is something fun that I could do. I could fluff up these gutters. That would be a good idea. And I still haven't, Greg and I have been so slammed, we haven't had time to hang the others. But don't worry, it'll happen, and we'll all do it together, I promise, when the time comes. Look at this handful of crap. How exciting, how fun. Well, okay, so that's my story. Just fabulous. Flip around there, Greg, and show them the wisteria. Isn't that amazing? Wow. Just the most pleasant day. There's a warm breeze, well, cool breeze actually, blowing. Oh, well, while we're right here, how's the lemon? Well, you know, now I'm just kind of waiting to see if these 50+ lemons are actually going to ripen. So far, so good. Everybody's hanging in there. They're nice and shiny. They're growing. So we'll see if they ripen. And then the final test will be, how do they taste? But this, remember, our lemon tree has had a stay of execution since I got to feeding it and watering it a little bit more intentionally. It has really recovered itself from how gross it looked a few months ago. Hope you all are having an awesome time in your own gardens. Thanks for sharing Walkabout Wednesday with me, and we'll catch you on the flippity. Bye, guys.